Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm sitting with Rosemary Cloth, founder of Moving Spirit Center for Yoga, Dance, and Wellness, founder of Creative Kids Yoga, and creator of the YogaDots. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's nice to be with you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me into your lovely home and sitting down with me for this. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into kids yoga and the Creative Kids Yoga program?
Well, I have always been a mover, a dancer, and very playful. From the time I was 10 years old, I was babysitting and have always felt extremely comfortable with children. So when I went to college, I decided that I thought, well, children's work and play is very easy. I think I'll try something different. But I kept being directed back to my work with children. So I then graduated from Tufts with a degree in early childhood education and ended up as a teaching fellow at Harvard in their graduate education based on the kind of work and experience I'd had with children.
So this was just like a natural progression.
It was natural.
Yeah.
Natural.
And like you said, it was easy, but for so many people out there, like working with kids can be like such a challenge. Like what just allows you to be able to take on all of that?
Well, I think too often what happens is people feel that they have to control kids. You know, they see all of this abundant energy and that they have to control it. Whereas if they could just play with it and be with it and be at the level of the child, whatever age they are developmentally and physically, you always get much further with them.
So it's kind of just directing their energy into
yes. And to play, and we don't play enough in our world. And particularly now that we're in this technologically driven society, we don't play as much with friends. We are usually on our thumbs, are going on the technology pieces.
I know, I often am. So.
Yeah.
But you also said to like connect with them like at their level. So are you saying you're just like a kid at heart?
Yes, I am definitely a kid at heart.
Kids of all ages.
Yeah, I love kids of all ages. I love adults who are kids of all ages too, and it's fun to get them to be a little more playful.
Yeah. So you mentioned you worked with some adults there. Like, how is working with a lot of adults like different from working with kids? Because kids, you know, they're kids. They've got all of this energy, but adults tend to be a little more reserved. Like, how do you like interact with that?
Well, they've had a lot more life experience, and their life experience really shapes who they are. With kids, you just know the minute you're with them, they're going to be all over the place, and then you have to sort of corral that. But I have tools that I've developed through the years to bring them in, and where they're a part of being corralled, they're not being ordered around. And then with adults, it's creating a sense of community. And I feel community is getting lost in today's world. We need more of that togetherness and safety and a place where you can kind of call haven or home. So when I'm with adults, I always like to find out who they are and support them. And they're all going to be different, but I'm also extremely playful with them. And I laugh at myself and they can laugh with me. So we have a lot of give and take, and I feel it just works if you're working with little ones all the way to older people. You do the same thing, but you find out where they are at what stage of life.
Almost like you're kind of awakening the kid in them.
Yeah, but also making them feel, giving them a sense of safety. For some of them, their childhood hasn't been that safe. And so it's extremely important to be careful and respectful. So that's what I try to be. And I also am a therapist, you know, a somatic experiencing trauma therapist and a Phoenix Rising yoga therapist. So I can apply those skills in my work with children and adults. Yeah. So
in addition to teaching a lot of kids yoga classes, you're also an entrepreneur and an inventor. You created a product called YogaDots.
That's correct.
What was your inspiration for that?
Well, I started out, as you may remember when you were in preschool, with carpet squares or carpet rectangles, the little ones. I do remember that. And they were used for placement. But carpets, they can be heavy, they can get dusty, they can get dirty easier. They can just be heavy to carry. So I decided that I needed to find another place for another product for kids to sit on. So I thought, well, let's do yoga mats. So I got yoga mats, and that was an experience in and of itself. Today they have some shorter mats for kids, but I found that kids love to explore and experiment. Maybe it's the kind of children I attract, but I really find they really have fun. Under the yoga mats, on top of the yoga mats, you roll yourself up in a yoga mat.
Like a small child burrito.
A small child burrito. And I thought, this isn't exactly working. So I then thought, well, maybe if I start cutting out circles out of the old tired yoga mats that I had, then we could maybe make these little circles. And then out of the blue, I don't know, YogaDots just came into my head someday, and I began cutting these things, and my fingers hurt so badly.
Yeah.
I said, we've got to have another way of doing it.
Those are not fun materials.
No,
so you actually got
I
a couple
created, now these are just a few of the 10 colors that we have, but I created these, and they're so easy. Now these are packed, right now we have 5, but I can put together 30 of these things, put them in a bag, and take them to a class.
Yeah, I've seen you carry like a huge package of those, like in addition to like the skeleton model from when you're teaching anatomy, and like then another bag. And
Right, so I have used these, and kids love them. So I will say to them, okay, create, and the next thing I know, they've done something. We can put things underneath them. We can use them for sitting to allow children to have their own space. We work around our own self space. We can place them in the room in lots of different ways so that kids have the experience of going around in general space, over, under. And then I explore things like triangles, science, language arts, just about everything, because I want all children to be reached.
Can I see one of those?
Sure. Which one would you like?
I like the blue one.
Okay.
Like, I'm just like imagining like the kids like just walking into the room for the first time, and like you've got these dots here, especially after they've been used to the carpet squares. Like,
Yeah.
What was the first reaction that these kids had when you first showed up with these?
They
like,
love them. They love them. I mean, the kids, the only thing you can do these, you can do like this. Well, then I'll use it like that, okay? You can look through
like a
them.
telescope
right?
or a
All right, then
frisbee.
let's see how many other ways they can use. They will never hurt anybody either. So these are great, and I've had great success, sold them around the world, and they tie in beautifully with my Creative Kids Yoga teacher training program,
Okay.
which would show you lots of ways to use these.
Yeah, because like you're talking about how these kids love them and like all of the stuff in the program, but like what is all of those kids' favorite thing to do with them? Like a game or activity?
Yeah,
like,
we have a wonderful game. As I said, we can use these with any skill level,
'cause-
in math, science, anything, and we can, so that it's very good for developing the brain, developing using all kinds of learning styles, so all children feel good about it. Their favorite game is the Shape Museum. So it's a little bit like the night at the museum. So we put a row of yoga dots with a door. The visitors to the museum will be over here, and then all the statues in the museum will be standing on a yoga dot. The music starts, and they get to move all over. And when the music stops, they have to land on a dot, make a shape, hold it. The visitors from the museum to the museum come in, and they find their partner, and they start changing an arm.
Yeah, just by
an arm.
tapping on them with the little wand.
Oh, they have a little wand, and that's better sometimes than having them touch, because again, that's not always safe for some children, but we have these little tubes with scarves in the end, and they just tap a body part and it moves. Then when that music stops, they go out, and the group who are the visitors do their turn. So everybody gets a turn.
I've been to a couple of your classes, and when that game came up, those kids just like
Lit up like Christmas
crazy.
trees, yeah.
They were so excited for that. But thank you so much for having this interview with me. Everyone, this is Rosemary Cloth. How can they get in contact with you if they're interested in YogaDots or Creative Kids Yoga?
Well, I have a website. It's called creativekidsyoga.com. I also have an email, staff@creativekidsyoga.com. And we have all our information about the classes, the workshops, the teacher trainings, and the YogaDots, which are available for sale.
So everyone, the link will be right here. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
yeah, have a good day.
Yes, you too.